Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Potty Planet Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies, and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. We are back for the third night in a row to talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We're wrapping it up tonight with the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. This was the big finale. This was the one that, this movie grossed $1.1 billion at the box office. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, and it won all 11 of them, which is unheard of. That's like one of the most impressive things I've ever heard of. Seriously? You get nominated for 11 and win all of them? I didn't even know that was possible. But it is possible, and this movie did it. So let's go ahead and talk about The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. It was released in 2003, and it stars Elijah Wood, Viggo Mortensen, Ian McKellen, Orlando Bloom, John Rhys Davies, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, John Noble, Miranda Otto, Andy Serkis, Liv Tyler, Hugo Weaving, and David Wenham. It was directed by Peter Jackson and produced by Michael Lynn, Mark Ordesky, Robert Shea, and the Weinstein brothers. Anyways, so in my other reviews, I may have mentioned this one is my least favorite of the trilogy, and it is. Maybe one day I'll rewatch them and feel differently about it, but as it sits, this is my least favorite of the three. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this movie, and I have the most notes for this one, by the way. So this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than my video for the last two, because I have more to say about this one than I do the other two. But this movie is phenomenal. It is one of the best movies ever made. Just like the other two, it's probably the best conclusion to a trilogy of all time. It is amazing how they made these three really long movies and didn't screw them up. Now, I've never seen the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy because, quite frankly, even for me, they're a bit too long. But I do want to watch them at some point. I think the next time I feel like watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I'm going to watch the extended editions. And I'm not going to re-review these movies all over again, but I do think I'm going to, make a video where I talk about my thoughts about, what I think they should have kept in the movies, what I think, made sense for them to remove, and just give my thoughts on them. So I'll maybe do that one day when I get around to it. But I got a lot of pros here. A lot of pros here about this movie. So, but the plot first. Okay, so Frodo, Sam, and Gollum are almost there to the volcano to drop the ring in the volcano. And so, but the orcs are still moving in to attack. And so, now all of our other heroes on their side of the story, they're going to big time war, to fight the orcs and to buy Frodo and Sam some more time. It's such a good movie. Such a good movie. I love this movie to death. Let's talk about it. So, this movie has... I'm going to pull this out so I can set it down here in front of me. Okay, alright. So this movie probably has the best CGI of the trilogy. Now, I was talking about in my other reviews how when you watch these movies on Blu-ray, the CGI doesn't really hold up as well as it does on DVD. I noticed that while watching this one on Blu-ray, I didn't really notice that about it. So, props to them, because this movie holds up better than the other two in high def, which is really good. The music is also, The music, in my opinion, is also the best of the trilogy. The music in all three of these movies is amazing, but this one, the music stood out to me the most. It was like every scene just had this fantastic music booming, and it rocked, man. I was sitting there constantly shazamming the music in this movie because it's just so good. I also love how this shows the little guy can accomplish anything. Because Frodo and Sam are just hobbits. They're not really meant to do big things. And same for Merry and Pippin. But this movie shows you can do anything. Even the little guy can accomplish something big. And I really like that message. I also love the endings of this movie. By the way, we are going to be talking about spoilers for this movie, just so you're aware. But I love and when I say endings, I do mean endings because this movie has like 1,000 different endings. It's a movie that doesn't really seem like it ever wants to end. I remember the first time I watched this, I kept thinking, "Wow, that was great." Oh, there's more. Okay, because it just kept going, even though you think it keeps ending. But they're all every scene like in the aftermath of all this is just so beautiful, and I love the line from Aragorn, who of course that's who the movie is named after, The Return of the King, when he says, "My friends, you bow to no one." Aw, that is so nice. That is one of the best moments of this movie. I really like that. We got to talk about the battle sequences. They're some of the best ever put to screen. They are. The battle sequences are just it's filmmaking at its best. I talk about the extended battle at the end of the Two Towers and how it's one of the best to put to screen. It is, and this one is just right up there with it. The battle sequences in this movie are just phenomenal. This is what people can accomplish if they really put their minds to it. I mean, we put men on the moon, and we made the Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. How cool is that? This movie also gets you hyped. It gets you really hyped. When you watch this movie, you just want to throw on some armor and jump in the screen and go fight with them against the evil orcs. Because you're just like, yes, the whole time. Like, this is it. And it just gets you so into it. The costuming is fantastic. The makeup is fantastic. The character and the creature designs are fantastic. This special effects, the practical and CGI effects are awesome. The cinematography is beautiful. The locations that they filmed this movie at are beautiful. It expands on the world a little bit and it shows you some new creatures, which is nice. The script and the writing are some of the best of all time. The directing is some of the best of all time. The set design is awesome. The pacing is really good too. This movie is 3.5 hours long, almost. It's 3 hours and 21 minutes long with the credits. And it feels probably more like 2 hours, 15 minutes maybe? Like, it really doesn't feel that long. Like, it's because it's just, there's a lot going on. There's just all this amazing stuff, and you're just immersed into it, and it just flies. It really does. Let me see. I lost my spot. Okay, here it is. I talked about that already. I loved it in the battle sequences when the orcs bring in these giant elephants, and Legolas hops up on one, and he's climbing the arrows, and he takes down all the guys on it, and he removes the harness so they all fall off, and then he kills the elephant, and he jumps off. It's so awesome. And then Gimli is just there to be like, that still only counts as one, it's just awesome. I told you, I want Legolas to be my best friend because he's just so awesome. I also love the Undead Army in this movie. So there's this whole like thing where like this Undead Army didn't serve a promise that they were supposed to. So this army didn't serve a purpose that they were a promise to assist in a war when they were supposed to. So now they're just damned in this mountains, just live as ghosts for forever. And Boromir, Gimli, not Boromir. Oh my gosh. I'm talking so fast, I'm like forgetting people's names. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, they go into the mountains to ask them, like, we will relieve you of this curse if you come assist us. And Gimli and Legolas are like, bro, I don't know if this is such a good idea. And Aragorn's like, no, they're gonna fight for us. And they do. And when they come into the battle, it's just so cool. They are so freaking cool. Oh gosh. Okay. If it hasn't been obvious already, this is like one of the most epic movies ever made. This is just one of those like stand up and cheer type of movies. And every scene just screams epic awesomeness. Like if Bill and Ted wrote a Bible on awesomeness, this movie would be in that Bible. I also love the big character arc. There's really good character arcs in this movie. Merry and Pippin and Sam all really come into their own in this movie, especially Sam. Sam, because at this point the ring is really starting to wane on Frodo, and Sam knows they can't trust Gollum. but Gollum's tricking Frodo into trusting him, and he's trusting him because this ring is wearing on him so much. And at some point, he even kicks Sam out of the group because he thinks he's just coming after Gollum because this ring is just beating on him, and he's just carrying this burden, and he knows this. And when Frodo is like collapsing, he's like, I can't carry the ring for you, but I can carry you. And he carries him up into the mountain so he could throw the ring into the volcano. And when he fights a spider, the spider sequence is amazing. There's this great sequence where Gollum tricks him into going in the mountains and to this cave where there's this giant spider. And the spider captures Frodo, and then Sam comes back after Frodo kicked him out of the group, and he's got his sword, and he's fighting this spider, and it's just so awesome. Sam is awesome in this movie. He's, honestly, he might even be the best part of the movie. Dare I say? Because he really comes through. I mean, Frodo couldn't have done this without Sam. He really couldn't have. Like, he's not just a sidekick character. Frodo could not have done this if Sam wasn't there. That's how awesome he is. And Sean Astin plays him beautifully. It's just perfect casting. And I love the ending sequence in the volcano where Frodo, he's holding the ring over the lava. And Sam's like, throw it in! And he turns around and he's like, no, it's mine. And he's like, no. And then us as an audience, we're like, no, what are you doing? And then Gollum shows up and he starts fighting Frodo for the ring, and then they both roll over the side, and Gollum falls into the lava and dies, and so does the ring, and Frodo's holding there onto the edge, and Sam's like, don't you dare let go. It's beautiful. Let's see. Okay, so Denethor. He is this father of Boromir, and I can't remember the brother's name. Sorry, there's too many names here to remember. I'm sorry, I'm trying. And so he thinks Boromir's brother is dead. And so, but this dude's like losing his mind. Like, he doesn't really do anything to try and help. And he wants to burn him. He wants to burn his body. But Merry is there, like, or is it Pippin? I don't freaking remember. Anyway, he's there and he's like, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. Please don't burn him. And he gets up like on the thing they're gonna burn him on, and he like pours himself in this flammable stuff to burn himself alive with the sun. I guess he's nuts, but like it creates for a lot of good tension. Oh, let's see. Gandalf is really awesome in this movie. He fights in the war with his staff, and he's really awesome. And he gets all the troops ready to fight. When Denethor is like, retreat, all hope is lost, and then Gandalf shows up, and he's like, no, stay and fight. We can do this, because he's awesome. I also love how nobody ever loses faith in Frodo and Sam. They go to the Black Gate to try and draw the gaze of the eye so that the eye doesn't focus on them, it focuses on their army instead. And they go to the gate and they're like, they know that they can't stand up to all the orcs that are in there, but they have such faith in them that they're willing to go out there and die to buy them some more time, even though they're not even 100% sure how close they are. But they're going there to buy them some time, which is just awesome. This is a really good movie. It is just one of the great cinematic masterpieces of our time. I can pick at this one a little bit more. Like, can Sam really beat that big spider in a fight? That's kind of weird. Denethor really going as crazy as he did? That's kind of weird. You can pick at it a little bit. You can, but that doesn't really detriment the movie for me. This is one of the best movies ever made. And The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, of course, gets a 100. An entire trilogy of 100s. I haven't done that since the original Star Wars trilogy. How nice is that? All right. Well, thank you for riding with me through this. I have another trilogy I'm going to be doing soon, and I got another movie that I'm going to be reviewing. I filmed a skit for that video today with my friends. We're going to edit that and put that together and put that at the beginning of the review. But yeah, I love these movies so much. They are just some of the greatest cinematic masterpieces of all time, and very happy I finally got to talk about these movies because I've been wanting to do it for a long time. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave me reviews, suggestions, and comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Potty Player Entertainment for channel updates, and much love.